Curious to know who are the top personal protection dog trainers in Texas. Also, who is the best in the United States? I got this question off of a Facebook group that I'm a part of. The post generated quite a bit of controversy. There were 94 comments that range from people giving their recommendations to some names to people just getting into a little bit of a debate as to, who is the best, and just all kinds of things. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why this question generated a little bit of controversy. I'm going to repeat the question. Curious to know who are the top personal protection dog trainers in Texas, and also who is the best in the United States. This is why this is a very tricky question to answer. It's like asking what is the best color, or like asking what is the best flavor. It's a bit too much of a broad question. The criteria is not too specific there, because different people will have different criteria for what they consider the best. To some people, titles in a particular sport, that qualifies somebody to be top-notch or to be the best. Now, if we look at a dog trainer from that perspective, then naturally we have to qualify them based on how many titles they've gotten, based on which titles they have gotten, and based on what sport even they have gotten, right? There's so many little things that go into that criteria if you decide to use titles as a criteria. Well, then another criteria somebody might use might be, well, have they trained? This is another thing that came up as one of the comments. Have they trained for real scenarios? So if you use that as a criteria, then the person that trains for these scenarios that you qualify as a good criteria for them to be considered top-notch or one of the top, well, then these people don't have titles, or typically don't have titles. So that alone makes the qualification as to what is the best a little bit different, a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult to answer. Now, the best skilled trainer, and this is trainer in general, but we're going to stay on the topic at hand. So personal protection trainer, right? So if we look at the skill level of the trainer, well, skill is one thing, but then there's the ability to communicate. There's the ability to teach to another person how to do what this person does. So you might be top in terms of skill. You might have the know-how, but if you are unable to communicate that automatically sets you down a little bit. Now, the other thing that might make you top, right, one of the best, maybe your skills are not the best. Maybe your skills are mediocre at best, but maybe you are an amazing communicator. If you're an amazing communicator, that already makes it easier for you to convey the techniques that you use to somebody else and to their dog. So that might make you the best. This is why it's so difficult to answer that question. Who is the best? Who's the best in Texas? Who is the best in the US? This is why that post generated so many different answers, and it generated such a debate in the comment section. Not to mention, of course, the person who posted it was anonymous. So it's a person that posted it anonymously, which added more controversy, because then people started to, I know somebody said, insinuated that maybe this person is a trainer who who posted that so that they could sort of scout the competition, so to speak. And then somebody else suggested that maybe it's somebody who's already working with a trainer, and they don't want to make themselves known because they don't want their trainer to see that this person posted. Of course, with the thought that the trainer, if they were not to post anonymously, and the trainer who's working with this person might get offended. I can see all of these points. I can see how it could be possible that this might be a trainer sort of scouting the competition. I could also see it as this person maybe is working with a trainer who might be a member of that group, and so they don't want their trainer to see that. Or it might just be a person who just doesn't want to call attention to themselves. But either way, being anonymous does add a little bit to that. So the question, who's the best in Texas? Who's the best in the US? You're never going to find an answer for that, because to a group of people, here's the thing, trainers have their tribe. Okay, they have their tribe, they have their group of people, their followers. And so if you have your tribe, well, your tribe is going to think you are the best. Hey guys, real quick, if you're enjoying this episode, please send it to somebody you think might find it helpful. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe, and follow me on the other platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and your favorite podcast platform. But somebody else's tribe, if they tell the person, hey, yeah, no, this person is the best because he's, this is part of our religion, right? We follow this guy, and this guy is amazing. He's got all the titles. He's got this and the other. Well, if somebody from a different tribe does not follow the same guy, that person is going to find a bunch of holes in that trainer's methodology, in the trainer's belief. So this is why you're never going to find the right answer, because again, it's like asking, like if I were to talk to a group of people and I ask them, what is the best fruit? Well, that's a very difficult question to answer as well. What is the best color? Because a lot of it is subjective. A lot of it is depending on how you see the world. Like if I see the industry, if I see the world with similar lenses to somebody else, then I'm going to resonate more with their views. I'm going to resonate more with their way of doing things, their training methodology. And if I see another trainer that I don't align with their message, I don't believe in what they believe, I don't agree with them 100%, then to me, that person does not meet the criteria. So you're never going to be able to answer that question. If I were to ask that question on behalf of that person who wanted to know, I would ask something along the lines of, who are some of the trainers that you would recommend in Texas, and why? Do you know what I mean? And additionally, who are some of the best trainers? And here's the key part of that question. Who are some of the best trainers? Because when you say who are some of the best, that opens the door a little bit wider. It makes it so that you're not isolating these tribes, right? Because then if you go, who are some of the best? Well, people from different tribes can agree on that. They can go, I like my guy, but I also heard that guy is really good too. So questions like that are a little bit better. You'll get better response. You won't get as much defensive responses from some of the people that commented. I mean, some of these people, as I was reading some of the comments, it almost sounded like they took offense to the question, and so they would put in their 2 cents there, which they have every right to. It is a Facebook group. People can comment on there, so I understand their perspective to a degree, and I can understand why. Logically, I can understand why that question didn't sit well with a lot of these people.